zachitika kuti zachitika nthawi zanji kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuphonyeni.
Anthu amene timayankhula chichewa komano dzinalo kawerengedwe kake ndi Chawinga koma sindingakwanise throughout, so you bear with me. Tabitha, TC11. And then I'll discuss FDH Bank. And the reason why I will discuss FDH Bank second is because I think a couple of lives, a couple of situations I've discussed FDH Bank, but this is the first time I'm discussing Centenary Bank versus Tabitha Chawinga. And so I think it's just fair that I begin with the issue Chawinga, Tabitha, TC11. Now, one of the things that people need to be aware of is corruption affects not only the poor, it also affects people that have influence and people that have got money. Because at Malawian level, TC11 has got money. Even at European level, TC is okay. You know, TC is a serious asset in Malawi, and you know, his financial strength is open for public consumption. His knowledge for public consumption. For football players, Mastanga Rajina Tabitha, salary yao imakala online, imatapa chega. How much they are paid a week, a month, umatakuona. So ndandhandalama amene wawo ajina TC11. Kungoda ajina TC attendant hosi chepesa, ndandoni na kuti ndodeka basi. Chuma sichina swinthebo mwe wawo. You know, kuyambira ali ku China kuja, that lady was making money, that girl was making money. You know, kwachoka ku China anapita ku AC Milan. She was making money with AC Milan. She was the star of the team. She was the main player. Kuchoka kumene kujanjwa amene wapita ku Lyon. Kumene swali dolo. The last 3 months, she has just been affected by my injuries and all that. And I pray that she gets better. Kesi mene ndugamba ya Centenary versus Tabitha Chawinga, kabena TC11, muzimva ngati my backs versus Tabitha as well. Because nkhani kuyamba ndi my backs. Centenary achechi wasana igule banki. Nkhani inayamba kali ndi corruption imene yamba mbuyo. And I'm calling on the bishops, I'm calling in the amena mayangania bank, ama indesa banki ya Centenary. Kunena kuti inuyo a Centenary muzipita ku court. Ndi Tabitha TC11. Ngani yange imene hii you're putting your bank into disrepute. The reputation of your bank is being put into disrepute. Kuti inuyo muzipita ku court ndi ngani hii. Kani inabwera kwa ineyo 2024 ija. People sent me this you know, I came across this file at Tabitha. So I've followed it up. Even in many cases, imabita ku mediation before Justice Kalua, Tabo Kalua, I had already the file. I was following the case. So I just want to tell you, some of you, and also azojida. And also azojida ndinu amene makoto malina lawyer also azojida. You know, lawyer apa Facebook. Inanda ngakufufuza ni makona ndinantoso azojida. Mulibe zojida kuyanganani even kungona profile yanu ambiri ndinoana onena kuti mulibe zochita ana ambiri school sumuna pange ena mukunyoza school ana onena kuti mulibe tsogolo. Your future is not clear, and chifukwa chimene future anu sili clear, so chifukwa chomwe nazonena zokuti chifukwa cha anthu amene akuberaniwa, anthu amene akuberani ndi you're busy. Iwe wamisa iwe osochochita inu ndinu osauka chonchi chifukwa cha anthu amene akuberani ambiri ndinosauka ena sumaziwa ndikuuze ninu ambiri kumalawi ndi anthu osauka. You're very poor, and one of the reasons many mapangira react zinthu zanu how you behave chifukwa cha umphawi. But majority of your problems, majority of your thinking capacity, kapangire kanu kazinthu ndi umphawi. mulibe chakudya chokwanira, you don't eat what you want in life, maja zomwe zapezeka. Umphawi, how? So, zimene zijazo zimapangisa even kaganizidwe kama kakosiyana. You are eating to survive. You eat to survive. Munthu amene akudya to survive. You know, you don't eat for entertainment. Some of us, Mulungu anatidalisa kuti timadya for entertainment. Kuda kuja it's time to eat. It's time to explore. It's time to experience different tastes and all those kind of things. Capacity. You should aim to be that level. I have to say this to remove kaganizidwe kopusa. You know, I am not needed. I'm not needed. Do you know what I'm wearing? This jacket. Do you know this is Griezmann, Anthony Griezmann jacket? You should ask your lawyers if they can afford this jacket. Tima lawyer tanuto mutifuse Malawi. I think if they can afford. Now, why do I have to tell this? When I ask you to contribute to this cause, I'm not asking you to contribute to me. And I don't need Ramaza Malawi. I don't need your money. I have got what it takes. And I don't need a lot of money in my life. And I don't need to be a billionaire to be happy. I'm happy. I want justice for you. Akapolo inuyo nufuna chirungamu chikupeze inuyo akapolo. You are slaves. I'm fighting for you. Akapolo inu akapucheche. And I'll fight for you. Mukufuna kasimukufuna. But I'll fight for you. Fight out. Simukufuna kabena mukupanga matama ifoti. Simukuzindikira. So I don't get tired and I don't get exhausted because actually it's a sign you need to be saved. Of course, there will be a time mukakabina kwambiri pamene tiwena kusiyana kuti zikhani munganjo ya moto imene muli because ambiri muli munganjo ya moto even enanu you look at yourself and you're like I'm in middle class. Oh, you are poor. You are in the poverty line. Huh? I was talking to a certain researcher yesterday, and he was saying, "Kuti, in 2018, anapita kumudzi wina wake akapanga research. Akapanga research, anakumana ndi munthu amamfusa mafuso. Akumfusa mafuso munthu uja anayankha kunena kuti he said, wakhala 6 months asanagwire 100 kwacha. This is 2018. Testimony, kapena kuti experience, kapena evidence. Researcher uyu wanduza unena kuti anakumana ndi munthu anamuza unena kuti akhala 6 months ineyo osagwira 100 kwacha. I don't know even how to put that in euros or in kwacha. How do we find cancer? Mauza bayano. I'm not someone to play with. When I demand kuti mupange contribute, it's because I'm doing ntchito yanu and I'm trying. Madaliso amene ndikubweresa on Malawian country. Madaliso ena ata ukanika chifukwa inuyo simukupangapo kanthu. You need to do something you need to contribute to the cause. You need to be part of the cause. It's legitimizing. Ineyo seeking kuti mupange contribute to the cause is to legitimize the cause. Kuti ndi cause yanu. Do you understand that? Hey, so kubereka background kuti wanda ndama zinga. That is not important at the moment. 90 billion ija akuyitawisa akuyuza different things. They are trying to take this money. 90 billion yoti ndi tax yanu akubelani. You want to say Kamangila tima 200,000 tima 2,000 timetu kubereka ticha tipase detail. I'm not going to be bullied. No one can bully me. People have failed to bully me when I was in primary school. People have failed to bully me when I was in secondary school. People have failed to bully me when I was in the university as a student. And when I came to teach as a lecturer at the University of Malawi, they failed to bully me. No one bullies Kamangila. No one. You can't bully me. And you are going to contribute. Contribute to this cause because I'm saving your asses. Yes, I'm saving your asses. I'm saving that pastor's ass. And to pusa. Mudu kungozaza mamina basi. Ndi utuchi. Mitu ikulu yolemera heavy load. Mitu yanu ma heavy load. Kuma mamina to. You can't even understand. Kuri muntu akuti chani. Basi dismissive. Hey, amene uja. Hey. Where are the men in Malawi? Kode atsikana inu mukamati ife nda amuna akazi inu Malawi mukamati amuna ake ati ukuthi. Which men? I mean, where are the brave men in because women, you are attracted to brave men. Where are the brave men? Hey, my husband this, my boyfriend that. The real boyfriend will fight for your generation. Will fight for generations. They will not just fight for you. A man that loves you will fight for your kids before your kids even are born. For your kids' grandchildren. For your kids' children. A little woman will fight for your children before even they are born. For their children. That's a real man. That's a real man who loves you beyond today. Chikondi. Chimakaraja beyond. Chizikarajo yangana. It's generational love. We should be talking about generational love. I want you guys to be discussing generational love. My relationship, my marriage, you should be discussing generational love. It's not organica and all that. You might be different. That's why, when you're different, that's what happens. I think differently. And I look at things very different, obviously. Kanya TC11, what happened is in 2021, TC anakagula malo kunzeza kulilongwe. Anagula malo aja anapezapo mali manyumba osata 5 or 4. Malo aja wagula TC anagula kwa bambo dima itembo. Matito zona nzaka mbatsikulina ndika tenga all the documents in the file. Then ndika awerenga ma file aja. Ndikaona my documents also a file, not my file aja. Adagula TC11 because of her vision in real estate. She wanted to invest in real estate. So anayamba kubanga build. Malo aja manyumba aja ndikwa jugula. So anagula malo aja 37 million. According to the court document that I've read, anagula 37 million. Ndikwa jugula malo aja ndikukonza nyumba ija kukonza chichose ndikukonza ndukhala standard ya TC11. You know my standards that TC11. TC11 ndi mfana wa standards. Ndi mfana onena kuti anachokera kuhewe kumudzi. TC itu story yake. So I'm discussing these things that you can relate as a Malawian kid, as an adult, and as an old woman, as an old man. Everyone should relate to the story of TC. Tabitha Chawinga. So that's what is Mamukonda, we love Tabitha. But other people, when they look at Tabitha, they look at a man, they look at an opportunity to steal. Akamona Tabitha. Ama yangana bo mwayodiam, umutoda muombe. And antamina maombedwa, si antoka ubanda Juma. Even Antajuma, antamina ndio story ya man dipa, antokondedwa. A treasure, national treasure, because TC11 is a national treasure. Why is TC11 in court? Why is the country not concerned and worried? Could TC11 and court fajal? Hey TC, you are a star, you are a queen. Ajina babla banda jasangakali mukoti Zambia anyhow. The country will be shaken. The government will be concerned. The Minister of Justice will be concerned with our football star ali mukoti fajal, because you are stressing Tabitha. You are stressing the Chawingas. You Malawi is not the Chawingas guy. The two girls Tabitha ndi sister wake uja. TC6. I don't know why they are not TC10. They are unique. Those girls are unique. You stressing the Chawingas. There have never been a family like the Chawingas in Malawi in terms of, putting the map, the flag of the nation. And these people, the Chawinga, the elder sister is in court. The country doesn't know and doesn't care. Why is it? They don't want to find out. Anyway, tisi anachokera kumudzi. Tisi amaenda pansi opanda sapato. Kumapita ku school. Chifukwa cha zinthu zina analipira kupitiriza school tisi. Kena kwa nazapeza kuti obwera ku planta, kena kwa anthu amubanga. Kuyambira kalekale tisi has always been ni mfano one team. She's very, big-hearted. She's a big-hearted person. So she was playing football. When I follow her story, she was playing football with the boys. And she has a energy that even me, ndima muona tisi ujode ata undika haimozi yoka tisi uja kunimenya pa nitakuzuwa suri ndapondedwa. Kumasukuri anga ndimalize nitakumukazika basi nitakumenya kache wene ata kudabwaso. Kuma ukamona tisi uja even nyakaima uima Chonchi muscles amena mabwera. Why? That's not a build up ya Lero. She went through problems. She faced struggle. TC11 no struggle. Anavutika kwako mphawi unamulepheresa kupanga school TC. But she saw football as something that was her way out. And when she found football, she put all her heart in it. And she put all her heart in it, and then she was very kind. She took care of her family. She took care of her sister. When she found a green pastures in China, she made sure kaya go Sweden, kana go TC, anamuita naso. So bale wake makamba nkhani mene younger sister wa TC, the star in America, the best player in American football, and the American football yake did advanced as well, the female football, and she has been the best player for 2 years consistently. Koma story yake ndio sister wake wankulu anamutenga mbale wake kuti ase tiye uku ntchito ndezi zasikana zimene zimagwira ntchito mupiji muja ukaziona mene chimathamangira TC6 chimachoka uku kafika uku akugwira ntchito asikana. They're making money, clean money, living their life, their best life, but giving out. Even akamamenya national team kulibe koma player in terms of heart kuli ma player skill ndikwaziwa mene muja muni sikali uja muni this other girl who has just won the UEFA Conference League. She's an amazing star. Damina amachinya Malawi bambira amachinyira Malawi. She's the better striker. She's very good with shooting and all that. So there are more players in the nation team, and we need to talk more about our girls because football, female football is much better. The reason why I love female football and why I want to be a coach in female football in my other life when I finish, because I'm not going to practice the law or to do these things, advocacy for 30 years. No. Within 10-15 years I would have done enough, and then I would go into female football because that's my passion. I always want to go to the weakest, to the vulnerable. The league that is not the game that is not sponsored enough, the female football. But if we are to be successful as a country globally, the female football, if everybody digital the sports, the female football. Anyway, we are talking about Tabitha. Wajoka mavuto, wajoka kuhawe uku, ku northern region in katikati, kuti muntu amayenda or barefooted. Wabida ku China kuja, she was a star ku China kuja. Then wabida ku seminary, waina nimbale wake, kena ku 2021, the mina capacity, yamba kugula ma property. Atapeza so advise yandu, that's you need to invest. Because she doesn't want, kuda azabangeli azapempha sokwa anthu inuyo. Kuti akazadwala azakupempha ni kuti tisonge Tabitha and all that. She doesn't want that, so she invests. In 2025, wajudula manyumba wamanga manyumba ake wamalizaje nchani waikamu rent. Kunabwera chikalata ku bank kuchokera ku my backs. Now, hear this. Lawyer wa Tabitha mena mapanga china chijose chogula malo kutantani ma transfers anali Edgar Kajere. Snake njoka. Edgar Kajere. Achina Edgar Kajere muona Tabitha anaona opportunity kuti timujere mtu. They had already said amamupanga study anamudigira kuchoka 2021 kufika 2025 angomona kupanga akupanga invest kuchijuda malo ajinje 2025 alentalo amene muja my backs anabwera time ine I think inoita sanduka Centenary Bank sinduzwa Centenary Bank yahamba lilio koma ndipo Mpaka koma imagine Centenary Bank imagine my backs. You know the other interesting thing? Edgar Kajere anaye lawyer Tabitha kugula Zonse but ndiye samena lawyer wanda was my backs. These are white and cross ndimene imatipanga returnship ndi my backs. Ndiye achina Edgar jama panga mali. My client mapita wa ina Edgar amakuona ni kuti resources yangu yodani ndikumayuza my financial institutions kuti akuombeni. Akubele ni telechede. Akujele ni mane. Akukwapule ni makofi. Akumaso. Because kumeye kutukwapula na makofi akumaso. Kofi la kusai kumaso. Kofi la ulima pwedeka luposa la kusogolo. La kumbuyo. Ana menyambama TC kumaso. Financial. Kumbwele sila chikalata. Chonde na unena kuti iweyo TC. Nyumba imeno magula. So this is the movement abanga ina Edgar Kajere. Gwisa nchido my backs. Imene bano yi sentina. Anabida kwa mfana uja kumuza unena kuti through my agent. Just like uja he's busy. She's busy playing her game, doing her stuff. Ndalama zimena kubanga uja. She has to invest, but other people have to be invested. So parani sister wanga mama mutandiza with and how can know now the education cheaper. So Tabitha, you should have that idea. Even though she's a star and she has money, but she was deprived, not of her making, come her own life. She didn't have the education that she would have had. And that continues with her. And there's no shame in that, but that impacts her life. And that's where no one should lie to you. Unena to school siyo funigira. School ndiyo funigira. And Tabitha will be the first one to tell you this. Kuti school ndiyo funigira ine moyo mwanga. Ndapusisidwa hapo. Ndipo ndakabelelwa. Ndipo mwina so ndabelelwa hapo. Chifukwa jona zoti mwina school sina fika nayo pa level ina yake. So wina kasaza kunamize ni. The basic education is very important. You can pursue your careers, blah blah blah. But school is important. Even ukakanika school wosati chifukwa kuti umapanga olesi kapena jani. Kuma chifukwa cha mwavuta amene unakumana nawo. Never undermine education. Musazakali kuti munthu awuzi kunamiza school ndiyawo chikape. School ndiyo panda ntchito. Ndebwezi a minister of sports akuvutika chonchi kufuna kutuluka misonzi. Because munthu ndiyo amavutika meja mafuna kutuluka magazi. My people football. My people football. My people football, not the football. My people football. Why don't you why not answer with power? Why not answer with power? Anyway. My people football. Tabitha magaiza aja anamtembenugira. Ainaidikaja kuzera mwantu wena kumuzora iwe nyumba hii munagula mene mmagula kwa muntu amene munagula anali atatenga ngongole ku bank anali atatenga 22 million kama 21 million then drama for over the 20 million over the years drama ije sama ilipira pano yafika 63 million. So this person always the bank is 63 million ndeno chifati sana alipire tikugulisa malowa iwo ajakuziwa bwino kuti Tabitha ujawapanga invest in property ija ndipo property ija is no longer 37 million umwana gula ija property ija ili more. So they knew what it's worth and Tabitha andindama. So Tabitha ujataona ndiluze ndama ndiye amayuza so anthu around you anayuza anthu sports a football kuja anthu ena kuti akuja anthu aja kumamulangiza Tabitha amene zili ngati akumfunira zabwino ungolipira ifoti zikatuluka izizi wewe career yako kumwika pa mpeni wena kuti munthu jalina upanga Edgar ni muntu oyipa. Edgar Kajere is a snake. He's evil. He smiles, and he's smiling again. He has a smile. When he's smiling, he wants to bite. Black mamba. When he's smiling, the black mamba is poison. He's moving on to another victim. That's the caliber of Edgar. Wapona gida and this smile yake shunaye Amapanga ka smile kake. Kuma wapona gida sama segelera. Kuma ama ka segelera ama kasona guda agu wombani. Frankie Mbeda andika smile also kake. Ama kalanga dimabeba jasa kuzua ngati njomba. Namboyere ukutenda uli. Yo, azoelele njomba. Ibabeje ukusisika ndi yawo chako kuona ngati ni mbale wanga amene Muslim zanga. Kukama zindikira wakumenya makacha uli matope. Wapita. I'm also starting to study corruption and Islam in Malawi. This is something that I want to do soon. I'll be studying corruption and Islam in Malawi. Because I've studied the Indians, Amwenye, and I should not say Indians, because the going out to most particular one beat. Take the India. See, Tanzania is same way. For our Pakistan is under Amwenye, Mapaki, and Mapaki are Jaslam. Bagwambi. Amwenye, I'm a band, I'm a Malay, through tax evasion, through banking, my contract, there are people that are going to the same mosques. They are the same, they want to study corruption and Islam in Malawi. Of course, there are a lot of Christians. As you know, they are Catholic. Saulos Klaus Chilima is Catholic. And then my church na Pentecost ajina jakwera mino wabela waombela jakwera muja wabela zochi sabanyazi kuba kumangola amangola Chonchi kumapita nazo kasia mu closet yake jakwera. That's how I was saying. It's not Muslim, but there's a systematic corruption and financial fraud within a community that is associated with Islam. So I want to study that, because as I keep saying, in his enthusiasm study guy, I don't just come here. Fana uja, akumuza uja, mtu yanadenga ngongole, unagula nyumba, unagula malo, pali ngongole. So you see, how did Edgar Kajere allow his client to buy a property, yodi pali ngongole? Whose liability was it? Ngati lawyer, akumuthandiza muntu. Search, what we call a search. You do a search. A basic thing. So I'm calling in Malawi Law Society to investigate Edgar Kajere on the transaction, his role that he played to try to defraud the Tabitha TC11. Edgar and the Malawi Law Society went to Mpaka. I'm going to disbar. I'm going to choose as a children song at lawyer. This was not incompetence. This was a clear a fraud that he was engaged with. Edgar Kajere is a clear fraud, and I will be writing it later soon. Before this live, command my club busy. I've been too busy in the last 2 months. You have no idea. Commando na katidani. Ndini makalata panopa mwina 20 oti ndilembe munthu wake ndemwene komano it's better to lemba mochedwa than kulemba mwansanga. Pali makalata ambirimbiri, my threats to life, how people have been threatening me chanchani, and I know my movements amene akuchitika and mene akupangira ma move. I know my Malawians, all Malawians that make movement then ndikuuze na Malawi kumalawi kuzigawenga zinazo zikamachoka kumalawi kumapita ku UK kabena kumabida kumabwera kwa island ni maziwa. So wenga uli chigawenga or you are involved or you are suspect of crime ndio kuchoka ku Malawi kuja kubwera kwa island. You think I should not know? I will know that, because that's part of my security detail. So no, that's part of my security detail. Iwe Masangwi, I know you're coming to Ireland. That's my security detail. I know how you want to come to Ireland. You're welcome, by the way. But you should know that I know that you're coming to Ireland. Because that's my part of my security detail. No Malawian who has the crime, who is suspicious who traveled to the UK or to Ireland without me knowing. I know I've got intel. You are Malawi. The people you're working with here, I know their movements. I've got Timahule don't say user on information on me. I know them and I want them to get that information because that's how we're going to get you. For system so I follow you. So welcome, no Masangu, you're coming to Ireland. I hope you have 1 hour. We should meet and talk so that we can talk about Jasoa, Robert Jasoa, and also UTM, good direction, UTM, we go in Ediga, Kachere. Njuwakuba. The Malay Law Society knows this. So, Anampanga move, emwe ndiloya wa Edi, what is it? Emwe anagabresa deal ku my backs. Ndikuuza my backs ibange move imeja ndikuweza oda kumpanga mfana kuti iwe unagula malo awa 37 million komano malo muntu amene unamugula andingo ngole ya banki imena 20 million ngongole koma pano yafika 63 million. How does somebody borrow 20 million and then is supposed to give back 63 million? That's how these banks have been stealing from you. And there was a bill that came to parliament, what we call ina ubanga limit kuti muntu akabwera ndama ku bank akaniwa kupereka ma interest ajazikwera kumaika fika interest yotere kuti ndama ija kwa muntu ngatawabwereka 20 million ngati ikafika 40 million basi tere pa isikhale pompo isapitire pamene popo. You know what the banks did? They paid my MP bill ijena inasekedwa. That's why andungata the speaker Suleiman denda mpezela zake zambiri mbili. Musa pusisike kumona ngati Suleiman fights for you Malawians. He's a criminal. I'll be writing a document, a letter, an official letter to the relevant authorities. I'm trying to figure out, do I write to ACB or do I write to FIA, a Financial Intelligence Authority? I've got evidence against the Speaker of the House. In terms of asali speaker nthawi imeneyo apapa watenga ndalama mwambiri koma pamene popo asali speaker muja akuyankhula molongo akulongola madila zafetereza zomwezi. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking and nthawi MCP akuziwa zimene ndikukamba papa. These people, they all stealing from you, ka MCP, ka DPP, all they're doing is stealing from you and you are there kumapembeza anthu amene wako. Ndifake ndikunena kuti muli ngati Tiger nakuza nthawi kuti neyo galu wanga ndikukhala nthawi imeneyo ndi galu in 20 when was that? I think 2023 2003 2002 2005 ndinali ndi galu zinakana Tiger anakhala pa chingwe mamanga kuseri kwa nyumba timakhala mu mu compound then kunali kumangochi. Now kumangochi ground yake ni makhala jani la nchenga so agawa amatha kumba mosavuta njanja so the mamwika side yona kuti sangama kumbe in the compound. Then this other day ntamanga ankazi sewera Tiger oja kena wanapezo kuti anazimangira mpano mamva kupweteka ngumalia agalo aja akazimpanga. So then napita kuti ndikammasule koma kuti kummasulako amamva kupwetika then anandipeza kuti wandiluma atandituma almost just kungomusiya kuti akhale koma naona kuti uyu siziyenda then napilira anandiluma pamwendo usati pankono anandiluma pamwendo uku ndikumpanga zinthu zake which was the only time Tiger made an attempt kuti andilume. So napilira atandiluma ndikumva kupwetika ndikumuchosa kena wanaza zindikirano ndili process kuti muntu uyu suda afuna ndipweteka he's trying to save me mbuyanga ifani manjisa ndine mampasa zakudya ndine and everything. I was taking care of Tiger then anandisiya. So this is exactly what you Malawians are doing. You know, ndine ndikuchosani pa change imene chikupwetekani pa khosi. Ndechifukwa choti ndikuchosa chimapweteka kaye, ndechikupweteka kaye, ndemukundiluma. Tiana tosa somebody made umayankhula pa Facebook, uyankhula mwantua or my beneficiaries. Azimayi amene akumadya ndalama za Malawi zokuba, amene azimuna amene amapanga uhule, fine amamata akabandama amapangira tu uhule. Do you know that? Ndalama misongo yanu momuta agulire mankhwala anzipata there. What they're doing is to use that money to sleep around with women. And those women obviously they will come and attack Kamangila. Anyway, this is not about me. In 2025 ija TC dala namba kumalipira 60 million ija. Until when she met advisor. No, you should not go to court. So anapita ku court kanija konoda injunction yomwana atenga magazi anatenga injunction kuichosa utandanda mabiro yake anapeza wina kesi yamba. Panoba magazi aja anapita ku court. So kesi ikwenda kuyamba pompano. Kuma eneo ndikuona unena kuti ndi uchitsiru kunena kuti nkhani imene yo izipita ku court. Ndiye nkhani imene ndikufuna ite. Inu Centenary Bank nkhani imene mwena kuchosa, in fact mwena kumpaka kumpazeni ndikumpepesa TC Centenary Bank. And what you must stop, the criminals my bank is one of the most growing bank. Centenary, my banks. And why is that? Because the church bought that bank. What criminals do, they hide behind something. So, bank ya mpingo, and amina wanga invest mini ujakwambira toka amina kwabira Malawi. Because this is historical. It happened in the bank of the Vatican, you know, the bank of the church, where the mafias were keeping their money in the bank of the church, the Vatican, at the Vatican. And this is a scandal. The reason why Benedict XVI retired was a financial scandal that happened, financial fraud scandal that happened. That's why he retired. And he retired not because the Pope himself was involved, but because the council, some cardinals were involved. And yeah, I'm also within the aggressive cardinals, because some cardinals are the substantive power. The northerners, the formal power versus substantive power. Vatican, they have substantive power. The Pope is the leader of the church. Substantive, not in official or formal, but substantive. Some cardinals are power. In fact, Pope Francis Aralemba, Zona Woody, Muzilla Lisa, Maban, and her my gay people or lesbians. Just Chicadi Nazarem, but Chicago, Zosiana, Amazon, Kuposa Buana, Pampan Chipafopa office, but and holding out that guy uncle, and she was Sajida. Centenary Bank, when I fufuzile, before you know, what you must know is because in the bank yam pingo, the criminals will invest in that because people will not suspect criminality. The first side when you hear about the Centenary, that's what comes into your mind. People use the church to do. That's why we have Bushiri. That's why you have Prophet Bushiri. He uses the church as a cover. He's a criminal. Bushiri nakuzanri Juni safika Amangile. Okay. Niko kuumbusani. Nane na kuti Bushiri sifika June Amangilwa. So ngania TC ndizabwera TC 11 ndizabwera so zai tambasula kuma so this case yanandibasa in 2024 and hamena kuziwa zankhani kunduza nkhani tukwenda chonje, and I've kept all this. My whistleblowers, you take me for granted. Mauna ngati kuti Kamangila ndikamuza information anti ulula ndebwezi Where do you think I get the information? I'm not in Malawi. How come I have the latest information? Because people trust me and they give me information. And there haven't been any blowout of my whistleblower. And no one will know my whistleblowers. No one. I challenge you. I know people in government that are discussing to pay people so that I can review my whistleblowers. They have paid women to get to me. Not even my girlfriend can know who my whistleblowers are. I swear to you. Not even a woman in my life who knows. Not even my mother knows who my whistleblowers are, because I'm not stupid. I don't trust even my mother with this work. It is God that has appointed me to do this work. So why should I trust my mother? My mother doesn't know. Let me tell you a secret. And when there's a chance, my mother will tell you this story by herself. When I started calling out, my mom was hurt. Because my mom loved Chidima a lot. And she was hurt when he died, Pangozi Yandege. And when I was speaking about the corruption of Saulos Chidima, it is now Banga brace those wounds, and she called me and told me so many, it was a difficult time, but I had to stand firm. And I told my mom, you either choose me as your son, or you can choose Chidima, the corrupt guy. Go on. That's what I told my mom. And I told her from a place of love. Because my work has nothing to do with my mother. My work has nothing to do with my kid. Anyone who I'm in love with, so I don't tell secrets to my partners. I can't, because I'm not stupid. The power that God has given me and the wisdom God has given me, the tenacity, mphamvu zimene Mulungu wandipasa kulimba mtima kulimba mtima komanso mene taona kuti kuthekera kumene Mulungu wandipasa sikumene awapasa anthu ena. So zisisi zimene zaulidwa kwa ine zimayenera kukhala mwa ineyo, chifukwa anthu enawo amene andizungulira alibe kuthekera kumene ndili nako ineyo. So aboma amene mukupanga finance anthu adya ndalama zanuzo, koma sikuti they will find out my whistleblowers. Sizingatheke ndipo by next week or 2 weeks time, depending on ndakuza ndikuti ndi ntchito yambiri, ndiye ma whistleblower atuluka kwambiri ifana haona zinthu zimene zikuthekera. Mukaza kuti from 2024, how have I been able to be consistently giving out information imene andisakuziwa? How come za Amelis Hotel inaziziwa anthu musanaziziwe noseni muli kumala background musamani mbani ajinawanda msisha? They are journalists. Their job is to report, but they did not know anything about Amelis Hotel. But I knew that what Amelis Hotel was going on, and I knew. So we didn't after within 2-3 weeks. Kumabanga to data yang kumabanga 1+1. Amelis Hotel mwajitika zambiri mbili, and I have proven to you through Amelis Hotel. Not only would I know information, but also I know what is happening. Nakukuzanuna kuti report hii satuluke, it's not enough. I told you report hii kutulusa ndikatewe imene kufuna kuti ituluke. What happens later on? Titamphumisa ife amala titamphumisa baba mulonda kuti asapange report. Achina mafuta anayamba mabwera kumene kucho kumaza yankhula zinthu anthu mpaka na anthu anapangidwa suspend, mpaka na license apangidwa revoke ama trustees. Now you have information. You mean kumabwera National Bank icho kumapanga zimene akupanga zita. You wouldn't have known this. You wouldn't have known with financial institutions in Malawi. They are a cartel. They are part of the cartel. If we are not continued with the investigation, bringing these other witnesses. So what are you talking about? What should I do to earn your trust? Malawi. I'm not talking about to the decision makers. The decision makers already have their trust. They just can't accept. And the APM is captured, without doubt. What I've done within the 6 months of his presidency, the APM that I know, if he was not captured, he would have already said, my Judicial Service Commission, but APM right now is not in control. What do you know? Ben Chiza, atokhala kuti wayankhula zina zake zolakwika kapena waphonyesa information and all that. And Ben, I've got a lot of problems with Ben, and he knows. And I can't speak here. Ben is holy, Ben cheese. Ben is but Ben, if he's telling you ABM is sick, ABM is sick. And for you, anyway, I've been quiet on this because Matenda Muntu got the president. ABM Amafuna Zabwin. I wish ABM the best. And I think he has a good heart and he has good intentions for the country. So I speak Kumano. The faculty Basi, Brian Banda, just to prove the effort that you have made in your DPP to prove now the ABM is not sick. That is suspicious. And so, come on, you can't see the effort you're making to prove that ABM is not sick. Any person who is 85 years old and above, that person is sick. Hello? Muntu inalese baziko la pansi. Dziko inalilose, no matter how your health system is. Muntu amene nzaka 85 kumakwera mwamba. Amene amakhala kudwala. Unless ABM is not 85, he is 85 below. Maybe, not even.
Zachitika kuti. Zachitika nthawi zanji. Kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani. Musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi. Tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero. Kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuphonyeni.